Sunny Hostin, a polarizing voice on The View, often known for her bold takes on race, reparations, and identity politics, recently found herself at the center of a controversy so ironic it felt like a scripted satire. Sunny has spent years dissecting the complexities of racial inequality, speaking loudly and confidently about reparations and systemic injustice. Her unshakable belief in her moral superiority has earned her both supporters and critics. So when Sunny appeared on PBS's Finding Your Roots, a show where celebrities learn about their ancestry, audiences were primed for her to draw connections between her personal history and her well-documented public stances. What no one expected, least of all Sunny, was the revelation that would follow. Sunny sat across from the renowned historian and genealogist Henry Louis Gates Jr., eager to uncover the mysteries of her past. However, what was supposed to be an empowering and enlightening moment took a sharp turn. As Gates revealed her family's history, Sunny discovered that her ancestors weren't just immigrants or oppressed minorities as she had believed. Instead, they were slave owners. The very system Sunny has passionately railed against for years was one her family directly benefited from. Her reaction was a mix of shock, discomfort, and awkward attempts to process the information. Wide-eyed and visibly uneasy, Sunny stammered, "I've always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think my family was originally from Spain, or that they were slaveholders." For a brief moment, the room fell silent. A silence so profound it felt as though even the cameras paused. Sunny tried to salvage the moment by stating that the information would be interesting for her children to learn, but the damage was already done. The revelation was out there, and there was no reeling it back in. Naturally, the story didn't remain confined to PBS. It quickly exploded into a media sensation. Enter Greg Gutfeld, Fox News' resident provocateur, who thrives on moments like these. If irony were an Olympic sport, Greg would have just claimed the gold medal. Sunny Hostin's ancestors were slave owners. That's like finding out a vegan secretly owns a barbecue joint, he quipped, setting the tone for a biting critique of Sunny's apparent hypocrisy. Greg didn't stop at humor, though. He pointed out what many viewers found troubling: Sunny's lack of accountability. Despite the shocking revelation, she didn't issue an apology or acknowledge the irony. Instead, she brushed it off as a fact of life, which many interpreted as dismissive. Next time Sunny tries to pull the race card on The View, someone's going to remind her, "At least we're not slave-owning racists," Greg joked, adding another layer to his critique. Social media erupted almost instantly. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were flooded with reactions, memes, and heated debates. One popular meme featured a mock-up of Sunny with the caption, "Reparations? Let me write that check to myself real quick." Some users defended her, arguing that no one should be held accountable for their ancestors' actions. Others, however, were less forgiving, focusing on the apparent hypocrisy of her public persona. "It's not about blaming her for her family's past," one user commented. "It's about the hypocrisy of shaming others while ignoring the skeletons in your own closet." Even Sunny's loyal fans found it difficult to rally behind her. Some argued that her reaction could have been a turning point. Instead of brushing off the revelation, she could have used it as an opportunity to spark a deeper conversation about the complexities of history, identity, and personal accountability. As one commentator suggested, she could have said, "I've learned something surprising about my own family, and it's making me rethink how I approach these conversations." That would have been powerful. Instead, viewers were left with a shrug and a move-on attitude. The fallout extended beyond Sunny herself. Her co-hosts on The View were reportedly at a loss for how to address the news. Whoopi Goldberg, known for her sharp wit, may have had to bite her tongue to keep from making a biting comment. The awkwardness surrounding the situation was palpable, and it didn't take long for the incident to become fodder for critics of the show. Greg Gutfeld didn't miss the opportunity to tie Sunny's revelation to broader issues with identity politics. He argued that these frameworks often oversimplify complex issues, reducing people to their racial or ethnic identities while ignoring the nuance of individual experiences. When you focus so much on race, Greg said, you lose sight of the individual, the context, the nuance, and eventually it backfires, just like it did for Sunny. This critique wasn't limited to conservative commentators. Many viewers, regardless of their political leanings, saw Sunny's revelation as a cautionary tale about the dangers of self-righteousness. History is messy, uncomfortable, and full of contradictions. None of us are free from its shadow, and that's precisely why humility is so important when discussing these topics. Sunny's case also raised questions about historical accountability. Should people like Sunny, who condemn others for their ancestors' actions, be held to the same standard? Or is it enough to simply acknowledge the past without letting it define you? These questions sparked heated debates online and in media circles, further amplifying the story's impact. For Sunny, the fallout is far from over. Her moral high ground has been called into question, and it's unclear how she'll address this in future discussions on The View. Will she confront the irony head-on, using it as a moment of growth and reflection? Or will she continue as if nothing happened, hoping the controversy fades with time? Only time will tell. In the meantime, her revelation serves as a reminder of the complexities of identity and the importance of approaching these conversations with grace and self-awareness. Greg Gutfeld summed it up best. When you spend your life looking for racism everywhere, eventually it finds you. And for Sunny, it was sitting right there in her family tree. As the dust settles, one thing is certain: this story will remain a talking point for years to come. It's a tale of irony, hypocrisy, and the lessons we can all learn from history, if we're willing to listen. For Sunny, the road ahead will likely be bumpy, but it's also an opportunity for growth, both personally and professionally. Whether she seizes it or not will define how this chapter of her career is remembered.